Hi there, welcome once again to the Dukascopy TV studio here in Geneva. I'm Ben Jones. Alongside me today to discuss negotiating intangibles is Claude Cellich from the University in Geneva. Claude, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleased to be here.
So, can you begin by telling us why negotiators consider tangibles at the expense of intangibles?
Well, tangibles, people know about it, and it's easy to measure it. Like in management, if you cannot measure it, you cannot manage it. So actually, when it comes to intangible, people don't feel comfortable with it. And particularly as you move from your own culture to another culture, where the values are different. And lately, since the globalization of trade and the internet revolution, intangible have become much more important. And actually, I think it shows that over the years, the tangibles have slowly become less important, and intangibles have become, from 80 to 20, now we have the opposite. 80 is intangible, 20 is tangible. This is probably an average. I would say an internet company or a high-tech company probably will have a lot more intangibles than tangibles. A mature industry like automobile, for example, I would imagine the tangible would still be very high, intangibles will be less.
Okay, now what are some of the main intangibles?
Intangibles, you have, for example, the reputation of a firm, that as well as maybe copyrights, trademarks, brand recognition. These are well known. Goodwill. In some companies, goodwill could go up to 30% of its market value. You have trade secrets, software, business model, on and on. Then you have the personal, they negotiators themselves. If you have a reputation as being aggressive or being a good listener, this would be a positive sign.
Mm-hmm. Now, when's the best time to use intangibles?
Well, again, it depends on the industry. If you go in a new industry, probably intangibles are much more important. Also, when you go into cross-cultural negotiations or in different cultures. It's important to know that 80% of the population today lives in the developing world, and that's where the market growth is. And they have tradition and value which are different than ours. So what they value and what we value are different. This is because of the differences, we can find a common ground. So tangibles are important, high-tech industries, long-term contracts, and in regions where the relationship dominates over the if you don't have, in some countries, actually a lot of the countries, if they don't know you, if you don't have a reputation, they won't do business with you. Simple as that.
Okay, and finally, how about an example?
Okay, I have an example. It's a small company where the owner decided to retire due to age. Also, competition was getting more and more, making life difficult. And so he decided to sell. His children were not interested in continuing the business. So he put his company for sale. A buyer came by, a large company here in Switzerland, and they made an offer. The buyer refused it. They made another offer, improved the offer, and the buyer still couldn't decide. They made a third offer. By the time the offer was a little bit over the value of the company, and still he couldn't make a decision. So the buyer decided to move away from the monetary issue or tangible to non-tangible. What are you going to do when you retire? Started to ask personal questions, and it came out that to the owner, the company was part of his life. I mean, that was a lifetime achievement for him. He started in his 30s. He's now 60. His whole life was there. And so he could not come to the conclusion that he has to stop. And he also had some workers who had been with him for about 20 years, 30 years. He felt attached to them. And also loyal customers who became friends over the years. So in the end, the buyer repackaged the deal. The monetary value was there, but then they went into intangibles. They agreed to rehire his long-time employees and provided him with a consultancy for 3 years, whereby he would be kind of an ambassador at large, so he could keep in contact with his long-time and loyal employees. That's an example where, again, this is probably true much more for small and medium-sized enterprise, where the owners have a special attachment to the company.
Fantastic. Claude, thank you very much for joining us again.
Thank you for the invitation.
And thank you for watching. Do make sure you keep clicking back to Dukascopy TV as we bring you plenty more updates and exclusive interviews. Bye for now.